Welcome back to the F123 driver career. We are halfway through the season now, I believe, if not more so. This is going to be round 14 of 23 in the Netherlands, so we're definitely then in the second half of the season. We've got more points than our teammate after a wondrous back-to-back P4 and fastest lap in both Hungary and Belgium. Whether we can keep that going in the Netherlands, I don't know. We shall wait and see. But at the moment, we're certainly putting ourselves in the picture for a seat at a faster team for next season. We need to put some older parts in for practice here in the Netherlands, but we are Dutch bound today. Obviously, qualifying, as you can see there, starts overcast, but probably not wet at all, and then will be dry for the rest of the session. Dry conditions in the race, however, you can see by the percentages that it is starting to ramp up. So, should it have a safety car or two, maybe it might rain towards the end of the race, and that would really throw things into chaos. Other than that, and first practice, it should be dry throughout, thankfully. I do prefer fully dry weekends. It just makes things a hell of a lot easier from my point of view. So we've improved the car a bit as well as we've approached here. You can see that we've pulled away from Alpine, who've actually fallen further down. Williams have eased off as well, but Haas have just gone and now join us just there midfield. Mercedes have levelled off a bit. Ferrari have levelled off completely. Aston Martin, McLaren and Red Bull all improving slightly. So everybody's getting better. We've still got things in the works, but I've only got 151 resource points. So I'm going to have to go to practice to earn some more. Hopefully I can justify you continuing to subscribe to the channel and drop a video a like if you would be so kind by going and putting in a good performance here at Zandvoort. Just going to put these older parts in before we go to practice, and then we'll take it one session at a time. Practice session 3 as well, because everything is done. New bits are in the car, and actually, even with old bits in the car, we seemed quite competitive in practice. How that will translate into the actual meaningful sessions, so to speak, we shall wait and see. But we've got 1,400 resource points now. I'm not entirely sure where to spend them at the minute. Weight redistribution will be important, as will the drag reduction. I can't afford the drag reduction, and by 29 resource points, I can't afford the weight redistribution either. So we'll probably just have to wait until after the race weekend. I could do DRS, but that's not going to make too much of an issue. I'd rather have drag reduction reduced on the car as a whole, rather than just during the DRS sections. We're going to stay away from the tyre wear settings, because that has a tendency to break the car, and we won't do any of the brake upgrades when they come, because they break the car in terms of its competitiveness and its performance as well. So to qualifying we go. Ultimately, we're aiming for points now in every Grand Prix for the rest of the season. Whether they are top 5 points like they have been for the past 2 races, or bottom half of the points, I'm not sure. But points in every Grand Prix for the rest of the season will put us in a great position to bargain for as better drivers possible for Season 2. Thoughts on the IRL F1 season so far are that if it weren't for Max disappearing at the front of the field every race, take Max Verstappen out of the equation, it's been one of the most competitive Formula 1 seasons in recent years. For laps that matter, I'll shut my face. We're in the 9s, the 1:09.6. That is, I'm sure, enough to get me through to the second qualifying session. The track is warming, so track evolution will be a thing, but I'm pretty sure we are comfortably through to the second part of qualifying with a 1:09.6. And indeed we are. 1:09.6 for me, 1:09.5 for Valtteri. Obviously he did 2 runs, I only did the 1, and we were safe by 0.4 of a second with just the 1 run. So that's perfect. That couldn't have gone any better. We shall now try and get through Q2 in 1 run if we can, but I'm not sure if that's going to be as straightforward as we hope. Right, so again, a mid 1:09 to an early 1:09 should be enough. We're going to need an early 1:09, I think. Checo just goes fastest with a 1:09.1. We did a 1:09.9 with our first run, so we're on for like a 1:09.5-ish now. 1:09 flat from Charles. Gaining time all the way around the final corner at least. Only slightly, but this is going to be like a 1:09.4. 109.367 is good enough to get us into Q3, I'd imagine. It is indeed P5. Expecting another step from the front runners, though, in Q3. So we'll probably be between 8th and 10th at the end of the session, depending on who got through. We'll see if there are any shock exits. Valtteri goes out in P11, unfortunately, by a 10th and a half, which is fine. No shock exits as far as I'm aware. Both Ferrari, both Red Bull, both Mercedes, both McLaren, and Fernando Alonso alongside myself. As you might expect. Right then, Q3. So on the Delta, I need to find about a second. Anything more than 7.5 tenths means we're going to beat our Q2 time at least. But I am going to need to find significantly more than that if we're to challenge the front boys. And I just lost 2 tenths through there, so I don't think we will. Which is annoying, because I'm now just down that time back again, so... Oh, a 108.7. Yeah, I'm not getting anywhere near that. Gaining time all the way around the final corner again. Went a little bit high there. Okay, we're going to be in the 8s. It's going to be an 8 something. It's an 8.907, which is good enough for P5 again. An unexpected high qualifying position. If I'd have replicated my Q2 time, I would have been towards the back of the front 10. If I'd have replicated my Q2 time, I would have been 9th. But we were able to step it up and get into the 9s. And again, about 2.5 to 3 tenths off the pace at the front. In this Alfa Romeo, halfway through Season 1. We got some pace about it now. Typically, our quali pace has been better than our race pace. So still expecting to go backwards. We got a very fast Lewis Hamilton, a very fast Sergio Perez, and a very fast Lando Norris behind us. But I think a P8 is definitely doable here, depending on strategy and how the race unfolds. It's not the easiest of tracks to overtake. And we got our elbows out, to say the least, in a number of recent Grand Prix to get the results that we did with the back-to-back P4s and fastest laps. We got significant help with strategy and safety cars as well. But if that happens again here, who knows what the ultimate outcome could be. But certainly, we are in the hunt for some good points again. Putting ourselves in the picture for what? A McLaren drive Season 2? An Aston Martin drive Season 2? Something more than that, perhaps? It depends how the performance index fluctuates between here and the end of the season. But obviously, you guys will get the vote when the time comes as to where you want me to go. But we've got quite a few Grand Prix to go between now and then. And you never know, we might be able to get some better results as the car continues to improve. First things first, though, strategy for this one. So we'll start with the medium, hard, soft. But if we have to go medium, medium, hard, soft, we will. So take a mental picture of that. And make sure that we factor in. We're trying to do 23, but if we can't get any further than 18, not a problem. We have the tyres available to us to 3-stop if we want. And we can ask about what everyone else is doing around us as well. All right, decision made. 0.3 will do. George on the softs is going to be a quack boy. There was someone else in front of us that was on softs as well, wasn't it? And it's not, I think it's Carlos Sainz in P2. So the two on the right in front of me are on softs. It's not a bad getaway. Charles Leclerc moves across to close off his teammate, and we'll try and hang it around the outside here. Max Verstappen's making a move for the lead. They're 3 wide around turn 1. This is going to be dangerous. Coming through GB and Tiamat Marduk corner, and he's only gone and run into the back of George Russell, trying to avoid everyone. So I've got a bit of front wing damage. We will manage it for now.
Okay, mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options.
Yeah, we're going to have to
check your MFD.
We're going to have to. And that's, yeah, that is literally karma for saying GB and Tiamat Marduk corner, isn't it? Oh, mate. Lando's got me. Bottas gets me too. Valtteri from P10 to P6, by the way.
Got that confirmed.
Okay, we will stop and change the wing. This is obviously something slightly different to the way that we normally do the content. I would ordinarily have simply flashbacked the contact and not taken the wing damage. But let's try something out of the ordinary. Let's try something that we don't usually do in the career mode content. Let's see if we can, considering this is a track where we've got some genuine pace, what can we do from here? Will it come back to us, or are we knackered? This is one of the most realistic Grand Prix we could possibly do then. Hoping for a safety car. I'm going to pump in the laps now. We're definitely going to be quicker than those in the front of us. Let's close in those gaps and pray for a safety car. And I'll change that off, yes, actually, so I don't change my wing next time. Chat on both YouTube and Twitch. Do a safety car dance. Just did a safety car dance and now it's pissing with rain. Think I did the wrong dance. You must have done. Fastest lap though. We've got some pace in the car, but we knew that anyway. Yellow flag! Yellow flag! Sector 1, yellow flag. Someone's retiring. Who's going slowly? It's Max Verstappen. It's the race leader. Max Verstappen is out. Safety car, safety car, safety car, question mark. I don't think we're going to get one, but Max Verstappen is going to retire from the race. His engine has gone pop. Oh, but it's not going to cause a safety car though, is it? He's just going to pull off in a safe spot by a marshal zone. Ah! Well, Max Verstappen's out. That's one of the fast cars gone. We've halved the gap now, basically. More than half the gap. It was about 22 seconds to P18 when we came out of the pits. So it shows how much pace is genuinely in the car. We have others in the box now. So weirdly, Ricciardo's pitting off his mediums. So he's 3-stopping, but obviously chose to go to the medium first. Now we'll see how our defensive action is. Can we defend even with worn tyres? If we can, we will try and ruin some other people's races by just parking it and not letting them through. So for now, I might try and save some battery so that I can then defend with it when those behind me close me up, which they will do rather quickly on fresh tyres. Can I get out ahead of the 3 that are currently in the box? I think we can. We're going to take the Aston Martin here. I'm going to get out ahead of Lance Stroll. So up to P14 right now. The recovery continues. It just depends how, and I use this term lightly, how easy it is to defend. It's probably going to be incredibly difficult to defend. But you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to get my elbows out. And with Stroll on softs and Albon on mediums, that might allow us, maybe, to hang on to the back of Lance Stroll with DRS and defend against Alex Albon, but those gaps are coming down. Now Valtteri's in. K-Mag 2 in his house. So he is now, I think, leaving the pit lane. Is he? No, he's just stopped in his box. Bottas has gone mediums. K-Mag's gone hards. And we're going to come out right with our teammate here. And with K-Mag 2. Hello, gents. Game on. If I could just get myself within DRS range and stay there. I don't think I'm quite going to have the pace on tyres that are this worn. Here comes Lance. Now I could try and... I'm going to do something here. I'm going to Lance through. And now I'm going to try and follow him through to everyone else. Lose as little time as possible battling Lance to try and save time towards the end of the race. Ultimately letting him through and then following him whilst he's on his soft tyres
3.6 seconds.
is probably going to help us, I hope. Anyway, just got to stay with him. Ocon, we've passed now. So we're up another position. Just need to use my battery as best I can to stay with Lance. Which, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do. He is too quick on those softs. Never mind, eh? It was worth a go. Here comes out Williams now on his mediums. Right, now Albon I will try and defend from. Tyres don't actually feel that bad right now. I've not got any pace, but I'm not sliding around everywhere. 50 on the front, 40 on the rears. Temps are a little warm on the softs on the front, but we're all right. Just going for it, Alex.
Front is 3.2 seconds.
He's just got the traction to get away. That was all about rear traction there. You could see how he put his foot down and the car just bolted, whereas mine didn't. But a Williams on mediums is hopefully going to be easier to cling to than an Aston Martin on softs. He says as he makes a mistake. I've got Esteban Ocon trying to have a sniff at my back end now as well. Okay. I am going to have to think about making that stop soon. I think I'll stop 24 and go to hards and hope for a safety car. Unfortunately, our tyres were just too far gone. So we're going to box for a set of hard tyres because these softs have absolutely had it. 55 on the front, nearly 50 on the rear.
Don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
Oh well, it's a bit late now, mate. I'm already in the pits. I don't know what they were going to recommend me to do, but we've decided to come into the hards now.
Right, let's go. Come on.
Now we're going to try and go to the end on these if we can. But that is going to be tough.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
So now we're hoping for a safety car about lap 50-ish. Try and take these hards as far as we can. The recovery continues. Yeah, anything can happen at any point. That's the beauty of 100% race distance Grand Prix. If this was 50%, it'd be nearly over. If it was anything else lower than that, it would already be over. Sargent and Tsunoda are tucked up behind Daniel Ricciardo and can't get past, and it's slowing them up. Just helping me. I'm not sure where Valtteri is at the minute, but I think it's behind Lando Norris right now. So I think Valtteri's actually made some positions here. Gasly's now about to reach that gaggle of 3 as well. Tyres are going at just over 1% a lap. So these hards will last until the end. They'll have bugger all pace when they do. Sargent is past Ricciardo. Gaps are coming down again though. Continually. If we didn't have as competitive car as we do right now, I would definitely have flashbacked that contact at the start. Or just straight up restarted the race. Because I wouldn't have been able to gain the time. But because we have confidence
Gap to your teammate ahead is
in the speed of the car,
5 seconds.
we'll see what we can actually do. Pray for that safety car. If I get top 6, you'll donate. If I get top 6, I'll donate an organ. Nico Hulkenberg in the pits. Nico Hulkenberg on his way out of the pits now. He's on mediums. I imagine we'll have one more stop to make, but he might not. He might be able to go to the end on those. In fact, he should be able to go to the end on those. Just goes whether he will or not. More in the pits. Going to hards as well. Intriguing. Albon now on a hard tyre. Ricciardo's gone soft. The fact that some have gone onto the hards, it's really intriguing. I'm going to ask about Alex Albon. We'll see if he's going to stop again. I think he might do. If he's on a 3-stop, yeah. So Albon is going to stop again. The 3-stopper was the quickest way to the end. Or the preferred way to the end, anyway. Lots more in the pits again. Coming out ahead of K-Mag here now, as they've had a shorter stint. Can't remember if we came out ahead of or behind Kevin Magnussen after the last round of pit stops. Regardless, we are ahead of him now.
Car behind's just boxed for mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre now. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 6.3 seconds.
I imagine Hulkenberg is stopping again and Magnussen is stopping again. But I will ask, just to be sure.
Magnussen's behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. We think they've got one more stop.
So at the moment everyone is doing another stop.
Valtteri is in for his stop.
Valtteri's going to hards though.
And that's Valtteri ahead of you. And they've entered the pit lane. Okay, they're on fresh hards. We think they've got one more stop.
Okay, so Valtteri is doing another stop as well. He's out of the pits in front of me now. Got DRS on K-Mag. Hopefully help me defend from behind a little bit. Gonna try and use my battery to stay with, but we're at such a tyre deficit to everyone else now that it is going to be really tough to try and hang on. I think points are probably out, well, points are definitely out of reach unless there's a safety car, which is what we're hoping for. Lance will get me down the straight now. Try and tuck in behind. Go then, Lance. Christ, big foot down, pal.
Keep on him, he might make a mistake.
Still within a second of Lance for the time being.
Okay, clear.
Yellow flag. Behind me, though, annoyingly. Saw who fought. It's one of the AlphaTauri, Daniel Ricciardo's retiring. But again, annoyingly, no bloody safety car. So he must have just pulled over to the side of the track somewhere. Yep, his engine has gone the same way as Max Verstappen's. The Red Bull powertrain's not enjoying this Zandvoort circuit. 2 opportunities for a safety car with Max retiring. And now Daniel. And neither of them, unfortunately, resulting in
Yellow flag.
a safety car. Both of them pulling off
Okay,
right by a marshal's post.
Next part of the track, no overtaking through the yellow flags.
Meaning we can't get ourselves back into a decent position. We're continually at a tyre offset to everyone around us. My tyres are getting to the point now where they are starting to complain again. These hards have done 20 laps now. They are 30% worn at the front and 25% worn at the back. And that's after 20 laps, and there are still nearly 30 laps to go. And the mediums I have that are brand new that can go on can't go on yet because they won't make it to the end. We put those mediums on about lap 52 and then hope for the best.
Gap to your teammate ahead is 11.7 seconds.
That one doesn't have me down the straight this time. He kind of half-arsed it. He only really dangled his nose in right as I was about to turn in, so I went to turn in hoping that he'd get out of it, which he did. I didn't really lose much time there either. I was able to take the corner the way that I ordinarily would have done. We are holding Alex Albon up at the moment. That was poor. Alex will have me this lap. I hung on as long as I could, but a poor exit around the final turn. Alex has gotten us. Plan is to pit 52. Lap 52 for a new set of mediums to take me to the end. So safety car any time now would be a godsend, an absolute godsend that I don't fear, are going to have the luxury of getting. Ocon and Stroll having a bit of a battle in front of us in P13 and 14. We've hung on to the back of Alex Albon relatively well, considering the difference in our tyre sets, wear-wise. I am planning on pitting next lap for a set of mediums. These hards would take me to the end of the race, but they would be borderline puncture territory by the time we got there. So it's not worth it. Well, I could undercut Alex here. Whoa. I could definitely undercut Alex here by pitting on 52 to a set of mediums. That will definitely get me to the end. I don't have any new softs, unfortunately, otherwise I would put softs on. The only softs I have are currently worn and have done one qualifying run at least. So I'm not sure softs really are an option. I'm going to have to go new mediums. But we will try and gain some positions before the end of the race. Ultimately now, because of our good pace, we've brought ourselves into contention for a half-decent finish. Maybe not points, but after lap 1, we were 22 seconds behind the second-to-last driver. And we, through good pace, consistent driving, to a point, we have been able to get ourselves into P15 with the chance of maybe making a couple more positions before the end of the race. Now that everyone else has to do another pit stop. So we're going to make ours now, undercut, and then try and defend for our lives at the end of the Grand Prix. And who knows where we'll end up. Alex Albon is boxing at the same time. That was unexpected. Didn't think Alex would be in as well. Gasly is also in. He's now leaving the pits. Okay. What's Alex going to?
Okay, mate, that's it. Go, go, go. Perfect job from
Alex is going to softs. So
that was our last stop.
He will be rapid at the beginning of the stint, but those softs will certainly go off in terms of their pace before the end of the race. So we've dropped to the very back, 17th and 18th between the two of us. But we both should have good pace to the end from here. We'll see how many positions we can make up between now and the end of the race. But Alex is going to be really, really fast on those softs at the beginning of this stint. Really very fast indeed. Logan's in the pits as well, as is Ocon. Wait and see what they go to or have gone to.
35.3 seconds.
Ocon is also on mediums. And there he is. So we are now basically at the same point as Esteban Ocon. Ours have done a lap, his have not. But Alex will reel him in and challenge. And we will try and grab a position as well.
Now on the soft tyre. Soft tyres on the car behind.
Sargent behind going to softs, but he's 10 seconds behind.
2 seconds. Valtteri is in for his stop.
So we have overturned 32 seconds worth of deficit. When we came out of the pits after lap 1, we were 22 seconds behind Logan Sargent. We are now 10.5 seconds ahead of him. We have genuinely shown, as he crashes into a wall, genuinely shown really good pace in this Grand Prix. And it is going to be a case of what could have been after our best qualifying performance of the season, as far as I can recall. You'll have to let me know, like I say, in the comment section. Do you prefer the fact that I didn't flashback when we got that initial lap 1 damage and have tried my best to grind out a result and unfortunately have not had any luck with a safety car? It will mean that the video will be significantly shorter than usual. Or would you rather I continue to do what I normally do in situations like that, where we got that first lap damage, where I flashback, avoid the damage for the sake of the content and a decent YouTube video, and then continue to get a decent performance? It's up to you. It's a good opportunity to test it as an option, and we'll see what you guys say. Danny's just gifted 5 bits and says, go faster. I'm trying, Danny. I think Alex's softs are already starting to show signs that they're losing their peak performance. What we can't really afford is to get stuck behind Ocon and Albon and lose time on potentially Lance Stroll in front of him. There may be the chance, if Stroll's on... What is Stroll on? If Stroll's on softs as well, his tyres might fall off from him too. Lance Stroll is also on softs, so his tyres may well be doing the same as Alex Albon's and just doing nothing but getting worse and worse and worse from here till the end of the Grand Prix. And you've got Gasly and the Haas further down the road on hards. So in theory we should have a tyre advantage pace-wise on them until ours get worn. Ocon might go for it here on Albon. And think about it, he's just not quite got the drive out of the last corner yet. Oh, lock-up from Alex Albon, a mistake. And we're both through. There you go. Game on. That's one of them dealt with. Now then. Now that Esteban Ocon isn't being dragged along by the slipstream and the DRS of Alex Albon, we should have the pace to get past the Alpine. It's poor from Alex, that. He defended really well for a few laps, but just tried to gain as much time as he could through the braking point, and it wasn't possible. It was definitely a bit of a Code Brown moment when Alex Albon came back down the track after his mistake. I might have been in his blind spot a little bit. Can we get Ocon into T1? He'll probably go defensive. He does a little bit, but not much.
We're seeing a gap starting to form.
I wasn't really that... He didn't commit either way, did he? He didn't stick left, and he didn't defend the inside. He just kind of hovered between the two. Ultimately, I guess that's good defensive positioning from him. Well, he did commit to the outside there, and he kind of drifted left again. Not sure how legal that was from Esteban Ocon, but it's not like I've never done something similar before, is it? So I'm not going to be too critical. I am going to need to get past Alex, though, sooner rather than later, because Alex Albon is going to try his best to make up for his previous mistake. Gap to Stroll is growing as well as we lose time trying to get past Esteban, so I might just use some battery down the next straight and just get this done. He's definitely committed to the inside this time. And we will have the position. That's P14.
Great manoeuvre. You made it look so easy.
Right. Can we close on Stroll? What's happening with the gap to Gasly? 11 laps to go. 12 including this one. hopefully, Esteban will be more concerned about Alex behind him than me in front of him.
0.4 seconds.
Can confirm I'm not trailing Valtteri by 0.4 seconds. Battle for the podium seems pretty intense right now. If you have a look at the minimap, there's the Ferrari in P1, then the Mercedes P2, and then the other Red Bull, the other Mercedes, the other Ferrari, and both McLarens there fighting it out for P3. There's Lance Stroll at the end of the straight, still 4.1 seconds away. We are slowly eking about a tenth a lap on Lance. About two tenths to Pierre, but it's just too little. The points are within 10 seconds of us, really. About 10 to 11, with the two Hasses there sat in front of Pierre Gasly, who's 9 seconds in front of us. Unfortunately, I think it's just going to be a little bit too far out of our reach. We might have been able to battle for a P6 finish with Max Verstappen's retirement. 6th or 7th, maybe. We went for the mistake that led to the damage, but this feels, to be fair, in the latter stages, we have pumped in the laps and have had some good battles on track, so it's not like nothing has happened all Grand Prix. It has been a challenge still to get the pace that we have done out of the car, but it does make you wonder what we could have done if we were still involved at the very sharp end of the field at the beginning of the race. Never mind. You live, you learn, and you won't make that mistake again. Albon has fallen out of DRS range of Esteban Ocon. His softs have fallen away from him, but my mediums are getting to the point now where they're going to start falling away from me too. Gasly's taken Hulkenberg, that's intriguing. Gasly trying to make some moves for a late points push. One of the Alpines is my rival, I think it's Pierre. So he'll get the edge on me this weekend, but we've certainly had the edge on him, all told. And in the constructors, ourselves at Alfa Romeo are trying to stay ahead of them at Alpine, and with Gasly and Ocon not scoring points, but Bottas currently in P9, I believe, we will extend a little bit over Alpine in the constructors. Gasly may well be able to close in on Kevin Magnussen before the end of the race to grab a single point for Alpine, but he definitely won't catch Valtteri. Hello, Esteban.
The car ahead by 4.6 seconds.
Ocon still wants to fight with 5 laps to go. I'm going to concentrate again. We're going to knuckle down. And we're going to try and make sure we hold on to this position. Ah. Hello, Esteban.
Okay,
Right.
focus. We need to stay on form.
Stroll has now taken Hulkenberg, who is tumbling right now. But Ocon has taken me. So I'm going to try and stick with him and take him back. We can either try and do it this lap and then defend on lap 71, or I can save battery for another lap and go for it with a single lap to go. Which I think is going to be the preference, considering the gap is 0.7 of a second right now. Right, I need to have a good lap now. Then we have one opportunity to try and take him into turn 1 on the final lap. And then we just need to defend for our lives for the rest of that lap. and we'll get P14. Has to be now. Has to be now. Use all the battery, 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 all the battery. Lunge. And P14 again. Whew. The fact that he didn't go defensive there actually made the overtake easier. Because it meant I had all, the entirety of the inside of the track to just throw the car up the inside and then try and get it stopped. Charles Leclerc wins the Grand Prix behind us. And if we may, had we not had the first lap incident running into the back of George Russell, we may have stood a chance getting some strong points today. I think a top 8 was on the cards. But unfortunately, it is only a top 14, which in Creator Series would have been 2 points for me. But in this, it's nada. But I tell you what, after the end of lap 1, being 22 seconds behind at least anybody, that's a great recovery drive to come back and finish P14. And it shows that we do have genuine pace in the car now. Pretty much everywhere. We were quick in Hungary, which was a technical track. We were quick at Spa, which is a power track. And we were quick here, which is a mixture of the two. So, I think we're good, provided we don't make any of those sorts of mistakes moving forward. And again, do leave me your feedback in the comment section whether you would rather I go down this realistic route, where I take that damage, I deal with that damage and try and recover, or whether you'd rather we, as we have tended to, we flash back and avoid that damage, and then you get more highlights for the YouTube video. YouTube VOD, YouTube video. Charles Leclerc gets driver of the day. We started P5 and P14, unfortunately, but we do... Yeah, I have got a replay here of half of the race after we had to restart when the game lost all audio, but it's not a problem. So we get 2 points as a constructor, and that will move Valtteri, or rephrase, that will keep Valtteri further clear of Pierre Gasly, and those 2 points continue to keep us nearly 20 points clear of Alpine in the constructors as we consolidate in P6. It's disappointing, obviously, but we still had a good Grand Prix and showed great pace, so I can't be too disheartened. The only person I can be annoyed at for finishing P14 is this mug for running into the back of George Russell at the start when I was too busy looking at the 3 in front of him going side by side by side. We have a department event. The head of durability department has stated their opinion on where we should take our next development. They brought up some good points, but it goes against your recent on-track feedback. I'll accept it. It's fine.
Decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.
We don't really care about the department. We don't really care about Alfa Romeo at this stage. We are hoping to just continue to improve between now and the end of the season. Now, we do have enough resource points now to go for that drag reduction, so I'll whack that on. That will be done after Singapore, so in 3 Grand Prix time in Japan, we'll be able to reap the rewards of that. Is everything else going to pass in the meantime? The rotors do, the monocoque does also. So as we skip and advance to Monza, we hopefully will be... Wow, Aston Martin ahead of Mercedes now. McLaren up to 3rd as well. But we'll wait and see what happens as we advance and get to the next race weekend and see where everybody pans out for the Temple of Speed, which will be the next Grand Prix. Monza is not a strong track for me in the slightest. Thank the Lord it's dry, though. It's hard enough in the dry, let alone in the wet. Quali will be wet right at the very end, although you imagine that will probably come, because we have approximate weather forecasts on. You imagine that will probably come in the middle of Q2, but dry for the race and dry for practice as well. So Yeah, not much change, really. Everyone's leveled off around us. AlphaTauri have improved a bit. We've improved a bit. As have everybody above us other than Mercedes. So we'll be competitive again and looking for points again. But whether we get them or not remains to be seen. Drop the video a like. I'd appreciate it very much indeed if you would. Of course, subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more. And do, as I say, come and join me live on stream for the recording over on the main YouTube channel, or alternatively, of course, if you prefer, on Twitch instead. That will be all for this YouTube video, though. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Do leave me your feedback. I'd very much appreciate it, and I need it, please. And I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye.